Well, good morning. Welcome to Living Beyond Limits. You all know I'm Reverend Jennifer Spear. We are a part of Centers for Spiritual Living. I'm so glad you came this morning to spend your morning with us. And for those of you who are joining for online service, welcome to our service. And so let's begin this day today by reading our mission statement that's on the front of your bulletin. We are a sanctuary where people can discover and reveal the presence of God within their own being and experience their oneness with all life. Through the realization of this inner presence of love and peace, we give way to the evolutionary impulse of the divine and become a beneficial presence in the world. So that's exactly what we are doing here at Living Beyond Limits, is we are awakening to our own divine nature, to the presence of spirit that lives within us, the presence of spirit that is none other than the very essence of love and peace and wholeness and truth and power, because as we wake up to that, we come to the world differently. We come to the world when it's not being loving with more love. When it's not being peaceful, we can anchor into the peace that resides within us. We can stand in our own wholeness and our own power when the world is challenging. As we awaken to our spiritual nature, it puts us in a place of choice because we come to know that all of those qualities of spirit already exist within us. And we are creating this sanctuary here of Living Beyond Limits, where it is a safe place to discover and explore our spirituality, so that when we leave this room and go out into the world, we are able to take something greater with us, which is simply an awareness that that is already within us. And so I thank you all for walking this path, for saying yes to the call of your spirit, to be making a difference in this world and bringing your light into this world. Thank you for that. Well, last week, most of you were here, we did visioning for Living Beyond Limits last week, so that we might hear the call of spirit and what it is that we are being called to be as an organization, as a spiritual center. And some of those answers that were shared that maybe weren't even said out loud, because people also gave me their papers that I took home and read. Some of those answers that came forward, that we are a safe space of love, acceptance, and inclusion. We are a place to explore, celebrate, and practice spirituality. Our purpose is to be the light of love and peace and show those around us what that looks like. And lastly, a place to hold and see the greatest possibility for humanity and continue to work towards a world that works for everyone. Those were some of the things that came forward last week in our visioning. So when we hear those things and we listen within, then that becomes our call, all of us, and becomes the thing that leads and guides the choices that we make as an organization and as a group. Well, Centers for Spiritual Living, the parent organization that we are a part of, has a document called the Global Heart Vision. And one of the things that it says in the Global Heart Vision is, we envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family. Respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life, a world where kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. One global family, honoring the interconnectedness of everything and a kinship with all life. That then becomes one of the things that leads and guides this organization in what it is that we do. Programs that we put on, classes that we put out, where we are going as an organization. And all of that comes out of, for us and for them, because we stand on a principle of oneness. That we are one with that infinite presence, that we are one with all of life, that we are one with that eternal thing itself and with each other, that everything is part of a whole, connected to everything else, eternally and inseparably connected to everything else. We are each infused with that presence. We are each part of it, inseparable from it, connected to all of humanity, because we are all a part of it, and it is within us. That means then, if everything is connected to everything else, when life around us prospers, it means that we also prosper. Also, that when we listen within to that wisdom that resides within us, not our head, not our ego, but the wisdom in here, the wisdom of our hearts, then we are led and guided to make choices that serve us and that serve the whole. That Global Heart vision ends with, we envision a world that works for all, that works for us individually, and that works for everyone else also. And when we live out of that consciousness, that is our intention, that is our desire, that is what we want to have happen, is live in a world that works for everyone, then when things aren't working for swaths of people, for groups of people, I think it's even more distressing to us, because we live from that desire for things to work for everyone. So when there are things happening like war or racism or sexism or people being treated unfairly or inequality that has been built into systems, it's upsetting to us because it's not in alignment with our own spiritual call and our own spiritual longing. As awake and aware spiritual beings walking this path, we want to live in a world of equality. We want to live in a world where people are treated fairly and justly. We want to live in a world where people have enough to eat and have roofs over their head, where there is equal opportunity, and a world where peace exists. We would prefer to live a life where we are in alignment with our spirit and where we feel peaceful. And so, being that all of those things are true, then it upsets me a lot when I see decisions being made that eliminate safety nets for the people who are most vulnerable in this country. It is upsetting to me to see systems being eliminated that support diversity and equity and inclusion. And not just in government jobs, but one of my very good friends, Pat, works for a company that builds satellites and puts them in space. One of their clients is the military, and so they are being required to also not have any diversity, equity, or inclusion programs in their business. Pat has told me it's a principle we stand on. We're not going to stop, but we have to take it off of our website and out of all of our literature. But you know what? When we are outraged by something, what it's doing is it's telling us what our values are. It's telling us what is important to us. And to me, inclusion of everyone is important to me. Equity for everyone is important to me. Those things are spiritual values that live at the core of my being, that everyone is treated equally and fairly. Jesus taught inclusion. Jesus included people who were often excluded. He included women and Samaritans and lepers and Gentiles. He taught, love your neighbor as yourself. Hinduism and Buddhism both also teach inclusion. Hindu scriptures say the world is one family. It teaches dharma, and dharma is one's moral duty. Dharma encourages treating all beings with respect, compassion, and contributing to inclusion. Two of Buddhism's core teachings, one is called karina. It is concern or compassion. It is the wish for others to be free from suffering. To practice karina is to think about what it would feel like if you were the one that was experiencing that. If you were the one that was suffering and what that would be like. Metta is the second teaching. It is loving kindness. Loving kindness is creating a mental state in which our attention and concern are directed toward the happiness of others without self-interest. And so I would like to right now lead you in a Buddhist practice of loving kindness. And so I invite you to sit comfortably with your eyes closed. To sense yourself seated here in this mystery of human life. For isn't it really a mystery? Take your seat halfway between heaven and earth, as the Buddha did, and then bring a kind of attention to yourself. Feel your body seated. Feel your breath just breathing naturally. Think of someone that you care about and love a lot. And then let the natural phrases of good wishes for them come into your mind and heart. Some of the traditional ones are, may you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you be truly happy. And now picture a second person you care about and express those same good wishes, those intentions toward them. May you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you be truly happy. And next, imagine those two people whom you love are offering you their loving kindness. Picture how they look at you with concern and love as they say, may you too be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you be truly happy. Take in their good wishes. And now turn them toward yourself. Maybe place your hand on your heart as you repeat the phrases, may I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and strong. May I be truly happy. And with the same care, let your eyes open and look around the room and offer your loving kindness to everyone around you. And feel how good it feels to spread this field of loving kindness. And now think of yourself as a beacon, spreading the light of loving kindness like a lighthouse around this city. Around the country. around the world. And even to distant planets. And think, may all beings far and near, all beings young and old, beings in every direction, be held in great loving kindness. May they be safe and protected. May they be healthy and strong. May they be truly happy. And I invite you to open your eyes. Love and seeing other people as part of the sacredness of all life is part of all spiritual paths. Thomas Merton, who was a mystic, said, "Love is our true destiny. We do not find the meaning of life by ourselves alone. We find it with one another." The true meaning of life we find with one another. And so my message's title today is "My Heart is My Compass." And I'm talking about that when structures in the world don't match our spiritual values and they don't match our heart, we are called to remain steadfast. We are called to hold on to what we believe and what we stand for. We are called on to remember who we are and why we are here on this planet. The truth is, we are the place where God shows up. We are the place where God shows up. So do not be thwarted by what's going on in the world, for you are not alone. The infinite nature of Spirit is calling your name to be that in this world. And the second thing to remember is that we are not limited by whatever is currently happening in the world, because we are filled with a power and a presence that is infinite, a power and a presence that is absolute intelligence and love without bounds. We embody that. It's part of us. It fills us, and it fills all people. All people. Spirit is pouring itself right now in and into all people. That's what your prayers could be about. That's what your affirmations and your visualizations could be about. That Spirit is pouring itself into all people right now, to hold onto that as the truth. There's a story that says, an old pencil maker took his newest pencil aside just before he was about to pack him into a box. Imagining the little fellow as a person, he recalled a few things about the pencil. There are 5 things you need to know, he said to the pencil, before I send you out into the world. Always remember these 5 things. Never forget them, and you'll become the best pencil you can be. 1, everything you do will always leave a mark. 2, you can always correct the mistakes you make. 3, what is important is what's inside you. 4, in life you will undergo painful sharpening, which will only make you better. And 5, to be the best pencil, you must allow yourself to be held and guided by the hand that holds you. That is the call within us, to allow Spirit and our spirit to guide us in whatever it is that we are doing in our life. Ernest Holmes said, God can do for us only what God can do through us. So I think we begin by realizing that we are not limited, that there is nothing more powerful than Spirit in this world. We remember that. We hold on to that. We pray about that. We affirm that. We listen to our hearts and let our hearts lead us. For when they lead us, then we know what is right and what is wrong. Creating a world that works for everyone requires the wisdom of our minds and hearts, and it needs our love. It requires wisdom and love. You know when you see pictures of the Buddha and he's meditating and he has his hands like this? A position is called a mudra, where he's holding his hands. This represents wisdom and love, that you have to have both. You can't just have one or the other. Because to have love without wisdom can be injurious. It can be enabling. You know, love without wisdom is like letting your teenager who's now grown into an adult live in your basement still and not go out into the world and have to have a tough time making it because you love that person too much. That's love without wisdom. Intelligence or wisdom without love is harsh and damaging also. Think of AI that is creating deep fakes, that is causing chaos in the world because people then think things are true that never really happened. That's intelligence without love. You have to have both of them. And so we are led by our hearts then, and we listen to the wisdom of our beingness. We listen to the wisdom that requires that people take personal responsibility for their lives, yet we still come to the picture with love in our hearts. And we hold others in the light, praying and affirming that that infinite presence lives within them, that it is revealing itself right now in them, that it is unfolding through them. That presence dwells within them. We know that that intelligence from which everything in this entire universe has sprung forth, that intelligence is in them, present in every person, that love is present in every person, in every moment, even when we can't see it. It's still present. Wisdom and love. We hold that. That is what we do as metaphysicians. To be metaphysical means behind what we see in the material world. What we see in the material world doesn't look loving or intelligent. We hold in our consciousness that that love and that intelligence is present even though we can't see it. That creates a space somehow, because a law responds to that, to create a space for that to show up in a greater way in the world. That's our prayer work. That is living in that consciousness, is praying without ceasing. Living in that consciousness is practicing the presence, aware that it is in us and it is in them also. Martin Luther King said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But do whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." So my request to you, my invitation to you this week, is to give voice to your spirit, to your heart, through your actions. Those actions that look like inclusion and love and care and equity. that's living from your heart. And know that what is happening right now in our world is not the end of the story. That instead we are writing the next chapter right now. Let love be your compass. Let love point you in the direction of healing and of thriving for you and for everyone. For you are the change you want to see in the world. You are possibility. And you are here bringing spirit into this world in a way that is healing and magnificent and beautiful. So thank you for that. And blessings to each and every single one of you as you act as a beneficial presence in this world, simply because you know you are a spiritual being, and that means you are connected to that which is endless and boundless at every moment. Blessings to you. And so I invite you to join me as we turn our attention to the truth. Collectively, we come together right now recognizing that omnipresence of spirit, that one infinite presence that is a presence of absolute intelligence, the intelligence that grows a tomato seed into a tomato plant, that intelligence that acts as migratory impulses in animals, that intelligence is ever present in everything, everywhere, at every moment. And love is the very fabric of spirit. And that love permeates all things in this moment. And so I recognize that we are each individualized expressions of that one. And not just us, but every person on this planet. And therefore, I know that love is present within their hearts, within their bodies, within their lives. That the absolute intelligence of spirit right now is downloading itself through their minds, through their hearts, through their actions and their words and all that they do. For we have each been called to be a part of this one family of humanity. We have each been called to be a beneficial presence in this world. We have each been called to be love and to be light, to be inclusive and loving and caring. And so today I know that there is an awakening happening across this planet right now. An awakening of the truth of this one family of humanity, the care for each other, the care for the planet we live on, care for our environment, care for each other. And so it is with absolute faith and trust and confidence that this is the truth, that I release this word into that creative law of the universe. And I, with high expectation, I know that it is unfolding itself now. And so I release this prayer in gratitude, and I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is. And so I have a few invitations for you as a way to participate in this family. One is the fifth Sunday. We have a fifth Sunday this month, which means we aren't meeting here. What we're doing instead is meeting at Straw Hat Pizza that's on Spring Street and making paper flowers and cards for the women at Long Beach Women's Shelter to give to them for Mother's Day. And of course, it's going to be at 11 o'clock because they open at 11. Do craft making and have lunch together. So put that on your calendar. It's not a fundraiser, but they're going to give us a percentage back of whatever it is that we eat to, but it's really just an in-reach and outreach, time to spend together and have a good time doing something fun and creating something to use for an outreach. Are you interested in going on a women's retreat? We are talking about, I am looking into putting on our first overnight retreat. We're looking at right now July 17th through the 19th. It would start like Thursday afternoon, stay Thursday night, stay Friday night, go home Saturday morning. There is a sign-up sheet in the back. I don't have a price yet, but if you are interested, will you please sign up? Just put your name and your phone number so I can text you or call you. And we're going to be staying at Lorraine Taylor's retreat center in Big Bear. So if you want to talk with her about the retreat center and what that's like, talk with her today. But it'll be a spiritual retreat and also time for playing, because she said she could maybe take us out on a boat on the lake too. So we might have to do that kind of thing too, but it should be super fun. So sign up if you're interested and we'll talk about it. Pat and Mike are still working with the unhoused in Long Beach. If you would like to join them in doing that, they would love to have you do that. Our Sunday talks come out lately on Monday night or Tuesday morning. I am sharing them. Did I do that this week? Did I send that out to you guys? The talk was posted? I think I did. I'm trying to do that every single week. Send it out so that you can share that with other people. It also, the link gets posted on Facebook. So I encourage you to share the talks with people who you think might want to hear the message that we are having here. That is really how we spread the word and invite people in these days. I also invite you to take your insert home, but to leave your bulletin cover. There's a basket in the back. Printing prices continue to go up like everything else. It costs more than $2 a piece to have a bulletin cover printed. So if you leave those in the back and don't write on them, that would be fantastic. We also invite you to help us grow by liking us on Facebook, following us on Facebook, checking in and Meetup and saying that you're coming. Follow us on Instagram. And we have prayer support after service, and we have prayer shawls if you're interested in that. Just know the practitioners are available, and a Ministry of Prayer box in the back. And that's it. And so I invite you to repeat after me, good fills my life now.
Good fills my life now.
I recognize it. I savor it. I own it. I am it. And so it is.